Have you ever texted someone, watched those annoying typing bubbles appear and disappear, only to be met with total silence? It feels like a physical door slamming right in your face. One day you're sharing late-night memes, deep secrets, or weekend plans, and the next, they just vanish. Your message says read, but you're left with nothing. Welcome to the world of ghosting, the ultimate digital magic trick of our time. It used to be just a bad dating trend, but now it's everywhere. Friendships, relationships, even at work. We spend weeks asking ourselves, what did I do wrong? But let's stop overthinking and look inside the minds of the people who actually do the ghosting. What drives someone to just hit delete and erase themselves from your life without a single word? Why does avoiding a text become more important than basic human respect? To really get it, we have to look past the screens and dive into the messy, fragile psychology behind the vanishing act.
Let's get one thing straight so you can stop blaming yourself. Most ghosters aren't evil masterminds or narcissists who love hurting people. The truth is much more pathetic. They're just terrified. They're scared of awkward conversations, confrontation, and social discomfort. When a relationship hits a point where real talk is needed, like saying there won't be a third date or that a friendship is fading, the ghoster panics. In their head, an honest conversation looks like the end of the world. They imagine screaming, crying, drama, or the guilt of watching someone get hurt. So their brain finds a shady shortcut. Hey, what if we just disappear? No talk, no problem. They convince themselves that by staying quiet, they are saving everyone from a fight. But really, they're just dumping their own stress onto you. It's the ultimate act of emotional laziness, masked as keeping the peace.
Psychologists say this links back to something called attachment theory, which is basically how we learned to bond with people when we were kids. Frequent ghosters usually have an avoidant attachment style. For them, real intimacy, catching feelings, or commitment feels like a trap. The moment a connection gets too real and demands emotional effort, an alarm goes off in their head. Danger! They want to control us! Instead of being real and saying, hey, I need to slow down, they just pack their bags and ghost. On the flip side, some ghosters just have zero self-esteem. They are so terrified of being the bad guy or disappointing someone that they play dead. Ironically, by trying so hard not to look cruel, they choose the cruelest way to leave. They preserve their own fragile ego at the cost of your sanity, preferring to be a ghost rather than a villain.
We also can't ignore how apps and social media make this behavior way too easy. Dating apps have turned relationships into a game where human beings are just profiles you can swipe away like a notification. Because of this, we lose our sense of reality. When you only know someone through a screen, your brain starts treating them like a video game character or a bot. Deleting a chat or blocking someone doesn't feel like dumping a human. It feels like closing an app that started lagging. The stakes are low, accountability is zero, and ghosting becomes the laziest, easiest way out. We have commodified people to the point where they are just digital content. When the content stops entertaining us, we don't send a cancellation letter. We just stop clicking on it, completely forgetting there was a real person holding the phone on the other side. Plus, ghosters have a whole list of mental excuses to help them sleep at night without feeling like trash. Their favorite line is, "No answer is an answer." They tell themselves that by staying silent, they are sending a polite hint that they aren't interested, and that you will just get the message and move on. Or they start playing the pity card. Oh, they are too good for me anyway. They won't even notice I'm gone. Or, we weren't even that close. It's not a big deal. They trash the value of the connection just to make their exit look minor. This mental gymnastics lets them avoid the heavy weight of guilt, converting an act of cowardice into some twisted form of mercy. But what's really happening inside their body when they decide to ghost? It's actually a total breakdown of their nervous system. For a chronic ghoster, the thought of a difficult conversation triggers a primitive fight or flight response. Their brain literally perceives a text like, hey, can we talk? As a physical threat, like a predator jumping out of the bushes. Their heart rate spikes, stress hormones flood their body, and their rational mind completely shuts down. In that moment of pure panic, the smartphone screen becomes an emergency exit. By hitting block or ignoring the notification, they instantly turn off the stress. It's like a drug. The sudden relief feels amazing, and their brain notes it down. Hey, running away works. This creates a toxic habit loop, making them completely addicted to escaping whenever things get heavy. A lot of this stems from how they grew up. Many ghosters come from families where healthy communication was practically banned.
Maybe their parents handle disagreements with explosive screaming matches. Or maybe they use the silent treatment for days on end. In those environments, a child learns a dangerous lesson. Expressing your feelings or changing your mind leads to chaos or abandonment. They grow up without a script for how to say no nicely. They don't know how to say, "I've had a great time, but I don't see this going further," because they think honesty always triggers an explosion. So they enter adult relationships with zero communication tools, treating every minor disagreement like an all-out war, where the only way to survive is to go completely off the grid.
But karma is real, and ghosters end up trapped in their own habit. If you always use ghosting to escape tough situations, your emotional growth completely stops. You are literally training your brain to be a coward. You convince yourself that you can't handle adult communication. Over time, your relationships stay totally fake and disposable. The second a conflict pops up or things get vulnerable, your reflex is to run. Ghosters become prisoners of their own fear, moving from person to person, carrying a heavy backpack of guilt and shame that slowly ruins their own self-respect. They end up totally isolated, surrounded by half-baked connections, permanently haunted by the ghosts of the people they left behind. The real tragedy here is what this silence does to the person left behind, the victim. When someone ghosts you, they deny you what psychologists call closure. Human brains are wired to solve puzzles and find meanings. When someone breaks up with you normally, they give you a reason, even if it's a dumb one. It gives your brain a starting point to process the pain. Ghosting leaves an agonizing vacuum. Because you have zero data, your mind goes into overdrive, spinning endless, exhausting, worst-case scenarios. You start gaslighting yourself, questioning your own memories of the relationship, and wondering if you're secretly a monster. This lack of finality freezes the healing process, turning a normal heartbreak into a deep psychological trauma that can ruin your ability to trust anyone else in the future. Honestly, ghosting is a symptom of a culture that hates being uncomfortable. We want everything instantly, and we're told to avoid anything that feels heavy. We live in an era where we can cancel subscriptions with one click, and we've accidentally applied that same setting to human beings. But real relationships are messy, unpredictable, and require work. Being mature means showing up for the awkward moments. It means having the guts to look someone in the eyes, or at least send a text, and say, "Hey, I don't think this is working." It's about realizing that another person's emotional peace is worth more than your 5 minutes of discomfort. If you've ever been ghosted, remember this. Their silence has absolutely nothing to do with your worth, your looks, or how lovable you are. Their silence is just a loud announcement of their own inability to communicate, their fears, and their emotional limits. It's proof that they lacked the basic maturity required to hold a mirror up to themselves. The next time someone vanishes on you, don't try to solve the mystery. It's not a puzzle for you to fix. It's just a mirror reflecting their own unfinished, messy internal drama. You didn't lose a connection. You just got an early release from someone who wasn't ready for the real work of being human. If you like this or it resonates with you, please like and subscribe. We need your support to see that you enjoy our content. It's our sign to keep going and bring you even more stories.